Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Wealth and Wisdom with me, your host, Wendy, the Financial Lion. This show, as you know, is all about giving you the tools, the tips, the insights, and even some tricks to help you get rid of blind spots, limiting behaviors, self-sabotage, and all the other things that prevent us from being truly wealthy in every area of our life, be it mentally, emotionally, physically, and of course, financially. With me today, I have promised you that I would only bring the top authorities, the experts in their fields to provide insight, to inform and educate and empower you. And today I have with me a very special guest, Shiraz Baboo. Welcome to the show, Shiraz.
Thank you for having me, Wendy. Great to be
Oh,
here.
thank you. So Shiraz, he is a multi-award winning author, international speaker, and reality interventionist. And I have seen this done in person. He is known for helping clients to rewrite their reality and overcome challenges in their lives. He's helped thousands of people to overcome illnesses, poverty, and unconsciously addicted struggles. Overall, he's a renowned personality in the area of addiction, and his book, How to Rewrite Reality, has changed lives across the globe. So, Shiraz, I cannot wait to talk to you more about what you do because I have seen you in action in real time. I saw it last night on your event, Ignite Your Success. And oh my gosh, the way that you can turn people's lives around in literally just a matter of minutes is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. How do you
Thank you.
do that? How do you do that?
It is a skill that I have acquired in that when you get past the judgments of people, when you are not concerned with forcing a change out of someone, then you can connect with them in a very profound way. And when you're connected like that, when they're talking to you, you can tell when their conscious beliefs match their unconscious beliefs. And then all the truths of that person are just laid out. And from there, you can figure out exactly what's going on with them.
But you do it so intuitively. It's undescribable. Like you actually have to see it done in person, like live in real time, to understand how you can watch someone's life turn around in just literally minutes.
Mhm.
Now, you said that because I was telling my husband about it, I was like, he is one of the most gifted men walking the planet today. And you gave away a secret and said, no, you learned it. How did you learn such a thing?
I actually worked with a whole bunch of modalities. So, theta healing, access consciousness, fifth dimensional energy healing, um, and a few other modalities. And I practiced that, got good with them. And everything felt like there was a lot of dogma in it. You have to say this and then do this and then do this. Like
Mm,
there's all this
mm.
ritualistic stuff. It didn't feel like it could be as powerful as it could. So I said, okay, what's a way we can get the biggest shift out of someone with the least amount of, let's say, interaction and methodology and all that. And I created energetic magic. And so with energetic magic, it's basically connect with the person, see if what they're saying is true. And if it's not, find out why it's not and get rid of that. That the whole process, I think the record now for a big shift with someone is 2 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
Now,
was
go ahead. Go ahead.
right. That was actually a fun thing because I was on stage with a woman. She was hosting this 3-day event and she had me up there and it was an Ask the Experts thing. And she was talking 10 minutes with each of the experts and I was talking to her about it and we got through various questions. And then she said, so how long does the process take? And I said, well, the record now is about 5 minutes. And she looks at the clock and she goes, well, we've got a few minutes left. Why don't you shift me in front of the
Yeah.
audience? And I'm like, wait, what? I said the record,
No
not
pressure.
this is how long it takes. And 2 minutes later, she had such a profound shift. She was bawling on her own stage.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How rewarding for you. That's got to just be like, you must be floating on clouds on your way home when you see the difference you've made in people's lives.
Uh, well, I mean that time I wasn't floating on clouds because she had to do a whole show and she was crying. I was just like, oops.
I was a little too good that time.
Yeah. But I mean, she did way better with her life in the business afterwards. It's like she asked.
Wow. Wow. Now tell us, because I heard your story also last night when you were talking about how you had arthritis. Tell us about that
Yes.
and why you had it and how you got it to go away,
So for me, I got rheumatoid arthritis when I was 22 years old.
which is
And at the time,
crazy. Like, who gets
it's
arthritis when they're 22?
this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Lucky you.
uh, yeah. And it was extra devastating for me because I was a bodybuilder at the time. So, like, 3, 4 hours at the gym every day, that was my life. That was my joy. Right. And all of a
Wow.
sudden, nope, you can't do that anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. So on
So
top of that, I
completely
was
life
starting,
altering for you.
it was, yeah. I mean, I was depressed. I was angry. I felt lost. Like, what am I supposed to do? What did I do to deserve this? Why
Right.
is this even happening to me? And
Right.
like, because I couldn't think of anything I'd done bad that would cause this to happen. Couldn't think. I mean, I was a healthy lifestyle. I was a bodybuilder. I was living a healthy lifestyle. So why am I suddenly sick?
Yeah.
And and for me, it was like, if you've never been through that kind of a physical trauma, if you've ever been in a situation where you knew how your life was going to go, you had the plan, and then out of nowhere, bam, that plan is gone, then you know what I was going through.
I can relate to that. I can totally
Okay.
relate to that. Oh, yeah.
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 And of course, I tried all these things to get out of it. Start with medication, of course, and don't get me started on childproof caps for arthritic medicine because
Oh,
who invented that? Like, come on,
a sadistic.
right? And I tried diet supplements. I tried yoga, meditation, um, and acupuncture. At
Man.
one point, someone was suggesting magnets help, and I was trying magnets out. And this is like not small amounts. This is over the course of 18 years,
Oh my
trying things for
gosh.
extended periods of time, and nothing is happening.
Oh my gosh. And pain, I can't even imagine. Pain wears you down. It
Yep.
ages you, right?
Yep.
Wears you down mentally, physically, emotionally. I can't even, 18 years. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so, yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but for an arthritic, it takes anywhere from 2 to 10 times as much energy to perform the same tasks as a normal person.
Wow.
So
I did
I
not know
remember
that.
I was dating
Jeez.
this girl at the time, and she didn't get it, and she would say, "You get up in the morning, you shower, you make breakfast, you like you change, and then you lie down on the bed as though you've had a long day." And I'm like, "It's been a long day. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
2 hours, and
Yeah.
I'm done."
Right? Oh my goodness.
So
So how did you try everything? This goes on for 18 years.
goes on
Nothing's
for 18.
working.
Nothing is working. And then I asked my dad, is there something we haven't tried yet? Is there something you've heard about? And he was at that point, he had got into meditation. He had a Swami he followed, healthy lifestyle and everything. And
Yeah.
so he's listening to all that kind of news. And he said, there's a program that I just heard about in India called combined therapy. And they've had results with multiple illnesses. And I'm like, what do you mean multiple illnesses? He said, they've cured people of cancer, diabetes. And I'm like, what? Why isn't this world known?
Right. Right. It's a shame that the best things that are available are the best kept secrets too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Never fail.
so I said, okay, if they can help with any illness, then let me head over to India and go there. And so because it was India, I thought it was going to be some sort of energy healing. He worked with the Swami. I thought it would be some sort of miracle course. Don't worry, you're done, healed.
Right. Right. Right.
And that's not what it was at all. I sat down and talked with this guy for weeks and just talked. It was like being with a psychiatrist, only He wasn't trying to solve anything. He was just gathering all this information about my life.
Uh-huh.
And at the end, he says, well, you think you're responsible for everyone in your life. I'm like, no, I don't. And he said, okay, I know you don't think you do, but from everything you've told me about your life, you created a belief when you were just a kid that you need to be responsible for everyone. I'm like, okay, I know I'm a responsible guy. I'm always a designated driver. I make sure my friends,
Right.
all that stuff. And I said, but I don't think I'm responsible for everyone. And even if I do, let's say I do, what's that got to do with arthritis? There's not a connection there. And he
Mm.
said, oh, no, you see, you don't want to be responsible for everyone. Yeah. And if you're lying in bed in pain, you don't need to be responsible for anyone. And you don't have to feel guilty about it. Your arthritis isn't your problem, it's your solution.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Talk about what our minds will do
Mhm.
without us even being aware of it.
Yeah.
That's and so he tells you that your arthritis is the solution to this
This,
subconscious problem that you're supposed to take care of everyone.
yes. And every time I saw people that I couldn't help, I felt guilty. And when I looked into this later on, I found out that your mind tries to avoid emotional distress. And the two biggest emotions it tries to avoid are guilt and shame. And so it will do anything to avoid that emotional distress using physical solutions. So get out of guilt, create arthritis. Now I'm lying in bed. I can't help people, so I don't have to feel guilty. Right. Other people do things like, if I make lots of money, people are going to come up and ask me for it and guilt me into giving money for them. So let's just not make money. Problem solved. Right? I got my heart broken and I don't ever want to feel that pain again. Oh, wait, why can't I find a decent date anymore?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
every
Yeah.
consistent
Yeah.
problem you have is the solution for an emotional problem you're not looking at.
But how do we find what, and that's where you come in, right? Is
Yeah.
you can see what those emotional problems that are our big blind spots that we're not even aware of,
Yeah. Because
that
once
are
you,
affecting every area of our life.
exactly. Because
So it's
once you
almost like
find
we're
out what
walking
this,
around like a puppet in our own skin because our subconscious mind is pulling all the strings
yes,
and we don't even know.
yes. Yeah. Because it's funny because in the story of your life, some people aren't even the primary character. They think they're their secondary character. Right. And my advice is don't even be the primary character, become the author. Because then you can change anything about the story.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
And that's what happened with when I was working with this guy. Because when he said, okay, the reason I've got this is because I feel I'm responsible for everyone. I said, fine, I'm not going to be responsible for anyone, just me. And the next morning, there was no pain, there was no inflammation. I had more mobility, right? The arthritis was just gone.
That fast.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Now,
Amazing.
to be clear, the damage done to my body was still there. That was all real. It wasn't just I thought my body was breaking down. My body was physically breaking down.
Right.
So I've been repairing that over the years. That's been a journey. However, the arthritis itself was just poof, done.
You must have been just ecstatic to wake up the next morning and not
I
be
was,
in pain.
I don't know if it was ecstatic as much as confusion. Like,
Right. Or,
what the hell?
yeah, right. I've
So,
been doing this for 18 years and I could have been done. Oh my gosh.
yeah, why didn't
Oh
someone
my
tell me
word.
18 years ago? I'll just stop doing this. And I don't know why no one told me because 18 years ago, I wouldn't have been willing to hear it.
That could be true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say if I knew back when I was in my 20s what I know now, I'd still be helping people financially because I love what I do, but it'd be on the back of my yacht in Tahiti, right? So, but we can never go back and do that.
Well,
But
this
go
is
ahead.
this is something that I've discovered is we have this story and we've seen it in movies and stuff that if you go back and change an incident, that your
Mm,
whole life will turn out different.
the
The
butterfly
thing I've
effect, right?
discovered working with people is changing an incident won't actually change your life unless there's a big emotional shift. That means shifting your belief
Yeah.
of the situation.
Right.
So what happens is like you think, well, I didn't get that big break. There was an audition I could have gone for that if I had taken it, my whole career would have been different. I'd be a movie star now or something like that.
Hmm.
If you had gone for that audition, you were still in the belief that you're not good enough to be a movie star. So what would happen is you fail the audition, and then that doesn't change anything in your life. Or you get the part, and then you still don't believe you're good enough. So you find a way to sabotage and get out of that thing. So you'd still be where you are.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I teach this because most people are stuck in if only I had done that. I'm like, no, get out of if only because you'd still be exactly where you are. This is where you need to be now to take the step forwards to change your life.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love that because there's a saying that says you can't go back and make a brand new start, but you can start from today and make a brand new end.
Yes.
And that's where you start is from today, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about some other transformations that you have done because I find this just absolutely fascinating the way that you can just read someone and pinpoint it. Just now, you gave the example of the man, but you were there talking to him for weeks while he was gathering information. And then he said, here's your problem. The
Yeah.
arthritis is your solution. I have seen you do this in just a matter of minutes.
Yeah. I've
So,
condensed it.
yeah,
So
but it's crazy. And I want to tell the audience, can I invite them to your event, to your
sure.
Ignite Your Success events and
Absolutely.
so forth? Okay, absolutely. So, and I'll put that on the website too, with his information, his bio, and all of his contact information, so you can get the links to that and see him in action in real time. I'm telling you, it's just, it's indescribable. I've never seen anything like it. I truly haven't.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm like a raving fan. I feel like a groupie or something. I'm a Shiraz groupie. So give us some examples. Is there anything that the audience can do for themselves? Is there anything, any action that they would be able to take that you'd be able to give them that they could kind of self treat?
So the thing you have to keep in mind is that everything that's happening to you in your life,
Hmm.
you want to happen. Okay. It's just not conscious, it's unconscious. So if you're not making enough money, it's because you're making exactly as much as your mind says is safe to make. If you're not getting into the relationships, it's because you're creating the exact type of relationships that are safe. If you are sick, it's because that illness protects you from something. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me?
Yeah,
Instead of asking, what did I do to deserve this? Or what am I doing wrong? You want to ask, what's the benefit here that I'm not seeing? And
very
from
good
that
question.
question, answers can pop up.
And I love what you said because one reason that I couldn't wait to have you on the show was because you explained something in such a way that I had never ever heard before. And it was you were talking about when you can't pay your bills at the end of the month
Mhm.
and you get that little dopamine rush
Yep.
and now you want to repeat that. And we might go, I can't stand that. I can't pay my bills, but we're getting that dopamine rush and the shot of adrenaline because you're stressed and anxious and all that fun stuff. Not that that's fun, but so we repeat that behavior. I had never heard anyone put it like that before, but that was
So
so eye-opening for me.
yeah. So to be clear, what happens is you're worried through the month that you're not going to be able to pay your bills. And then you pay it right at the end of the month and you just manage to get out of that situation. And that gives you a dopamine fix. It gives you an adrenaline rush. It gives you some oxytocin. And you're like, wow. And your whole body feels that and goes, let's do that again. Right. And so, well, how do we do it? We
Although you
struggle through
think
the
it's the
entire
last thing
month,
that you want to do, but your body's like, let's do that
do it
again.
again. And so now, month after month, you struggle so you can get your fix at the end of the month. And consciously, you hate it.
Yeah.
Why am I struggling every month? I don't know each month whether I'm going to make it through, but you get your fix. And it's a full-on addiction. You don't even realize you're in it. And then as you continue to do it, you will slowly build up a tolerance for it. So now your body wants a bigger fix. So it's going to say, well, what else can we do? Can we create more trouble through the
Ah,
month financially? Or can
right,
we add illness to the mix? So you can go,
right.
look, I did this despite this illness. Or can we
Ah,
create relationship problems? Or can we do a combination of those things? And I've seen so many people with these lives and they think, well, no, it's just life. That's just what happens. I'm like, no, you're creating everything. You just don't know it.
that is just, I hope that everyone listening to this or watching this is just your eyes are opened and you're thinking. And obviously, you want to like speed dial Shiraz and get on his calendar because everyone on the planet needs this information and needs this advice. I mean, you could change the world just lickety split, Shiraz. You're just
My
an
friends
opportunity
actually asked
waiting
me,
to happen.
I remember one of a bunch of my friends, we were talking about this, and they said, so technically you could just go over to the Middle East and solve all the problems there. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, that's arrogant. I said, no, here's the condition. They have to want to solve the problems.
Mm,
They don't. They just want their viewpoint to be the presiding viewpoint. That's what everyone on both sides wants. No one
yeah.
wants to actually solve their internal problems.
Well, they're so used to it. They've grown up in the, I mean, generations and generations and generations. They probably don't even realize there is a problem.
No, they don't.
You know,
They
that
think
that's
they're
just
right.
life.
This is the way
Yeah.
life is.
This is the way
And,
life is.
and
Yep.
yeah, and while that's a war thing, every 90 over 90% of the people all over the world feel that this is just life. I'm right in the way I'm doing things, and the problem is someone else or something else, because that way, if it goes wrong, it's not your fault. Right? The whole problem about accepting 100% responsibility for everything you that's showing up in your life is everything that's wrong is because of you. Right? The
Now
cool
that
thing,
takes a lot of responsibility. There's probably a lot of
that's
people
it.
out there that you're like, no, it's not my fault.
Not my fault.
I
It's
don't
the
want to cop to
government. Yeah. Yeah.
that.
It's my parents. It's like all this stuff.
Right.
The whole thing
Yeah.
is though,
Yeah.
if it's 100% your fault, you can change any part of it. If it's not, you're stuck.
Okay.
Right.
So it's
That,
better to take full responsibility
yep.
so that we can change where we are.
Yep. Because then you just say, okay, you know what? Haven't done so good up till now. Okay. However, moving forward, we're
Yeah.
going to create some really cool stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. So where would you recommend that people start out? I mean, would they start out with their any health issues that they have, or would they start out with their finances? Is there kind of an order that you would go in? Like, okay, my
There's
finances are a mess, so let's start with that. Or I have a migraine today. What brought that on? Or, what would it be?
there's no particular order. It's just what's that consistent problem you want to get out of.
Mm,
Right. So, for instance, I worked with a woman and she wasn't making enough money in her business. And part of the reason was that she had chronic migraines. Right. So she'd be trying to get work done and the chronic migraines would set in. She could only get so much work done. And so it's like, do we work on the business or do we work on the migraines? Like,
mm,
what's the more important thing?
right, right.
So we looked at what happened when she was a kid, and her dad used to always say, and he wasn't talking directly to her, but he would always say, people that aren't working all the time are lazy. Okay. So you imagine this little girl, it's like 5, 6 years old, is hearing this from her dad because he's complaining about other people that aren't pulling their weight, and that's how he's expressing it.
Right.
So she thinks, well, if I rest, I'm lazy. And so whenever she is tired and wants to rest, she can't just rest. Her dad will think she's lazy.
Yes.
But if she has a migraine, she has an excuse to rest.
Like
And she
you
doesn't have
and
to
your
feel guilty.
arthritis, right?
Yep. She doesn't
Yep.
have to feel guilty about letting her dad down. And so that just became her go-to. Right. And so,
It's so simple when you break it down like that. It's just so simple. It's like, oh my
yep.
gosh.
And so now this migraine as an adult is affecting her because she's still not fully resting because of the migraine. And because she's not fully resting, she's not as efficient as she could be in her business.
Mm,
So now we clear that belief, that was just your dad expressing, and you're allowed to rest and you're still not lazy, the migraines go away, the income in her business grows as well from the same thing because they're connected,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And 95% of the problems in your business have nothing to do with your business. They're all personal crap from when you were growing up.
I believe that. And crap is the perfect word for it. You
Oh,
know
yeah.
what? I will tell you something. We were at a family reunion and um my sister was there and I had an older sister who would always say for my 10th birthday I got a horse and for my
Mhm.
11th birthday I got Wendy because our birthdays were only 4 days apart and
Okay.
I had always wanted a horse, so I always thought the horse was the better gift, not me. And my mind went to that,
Oh,
oh, well, so I was the letdown. The horse was better. She never ever said that,
yeah.
that I was. Now, she could have said Wendy was the better gift and like not my mind wouldn't have gone there, but
Yeah.
I was 55 years old before we were at this family reunion and we were cleaning up the kitchen one night and I said, "You know what else? You said for your 10th birthday you got a horse and for your 11th birthday you got me." And I said, "What was the better gift?" And she was like, "You were, Wendy, of course you were." But I was 55 years old. I had carried that stupid belief around all those years, and god forbid I just have asked the question, 40
Yeah.
years before or whatever. But and I don't even know why it came to my mind that night, and she's since passed away, so thank god I did ask her and get the answer.
Yeah.
But it's funny how our brains will just go to the negative instead of the positive. Why is that? Do you know why that is?
So we are like genetically programmed to look for the negative three times as much as the positive.
Really?
Yeah, because way back in caveman days, if you don't look for the danger, you die.
Mm,
And that's still functioning within us. We're looking for what could go wrong so we don't die, even though what could go wrong in this day and age is, oh, people might not like me. Right. So,
yeah.
right.
My internet is down.
Yeah. And it's a matter of training your brain to look for the positive. And it takes a while because you're like fighting instinctual programming, but eventually you'll start looking for the positive way more than the negative, and then you'll start to attract positive more than the negative. You'll see opportunities that were there before that you just never saw. Like
Right.
one of my clients, she wanted to travel full time. She said, "I'm thinking about selling my house and traveling full time, except I know how expensive that is."
Yeah.
Right. And I said, "Why is that expensive?" She goes, "Traveling is expensive." I said, "What makes you think you can't make money traveling? What makes you think you can't travel for free?" And she goes, "No one travels for free." I'm like, "Is that true?" Like, there's probably people out there traveling. And we worked on her beliefs. And 2 weeks later, she calls me. She goes, "Guess where I am?"
Oh
And I'm like,
no.
"I don't know
Where?
where." She goes, "Well, she was living in California." She goes, "I'm in Texas for a speaking gig, and I'm staying here for like a week." I'm like, "Okay." And she goes, "And I'm in a mansion,
Oh,
and I have access to a car at this mansion, which I can do to take to me to an actual office where I can work during the day in the office, and it's all free." Right. And she's just like, since then, that was like 3 years ago. She's been traveling full time for 3 years,
wow.
making more money than she's ever made before. And what was hilarious is she told me that because she had this big breakthrough and she suddenly got this thing. And she told me that about 6 months later, she also brought up the fact, she goes, "Oh, what I never told you was that that access was always there. I just never seen it because I never looked through that lens."
Right.
Right.
I hope everybody puts you in the will. That's all I can say. I would have a document. Yes, if I bring your dreams to reality, I will be in the will. Thank you very much. Well, I know that you have an awesome gift for our audience today. So if you want to tell them about that, Shiraz, that'd be great.
Sure. So one of the things that's required in order to change the way you think, start looking for the positive instead of the negative, focus on manifesting the life you want instead of the life that just keeps showing up, is you have to be able to hold a thought and the corresponding emotions for that thought for 30 seconds or more. So if you want to feel rich, you got to hold that thought of being rich and how it feels to be rich in real time. right? So imagine yourself like, in the car or in the mansion and walking around the mansion as a continuous thing, as though you were really there. Because what most people do is when they imagine, they'll think this thing and they're like, I'm in the mansion. Oh, now I'm in the car, or now I'm by the pool. And when you do that, your mind knows you're just imagining. When
Mhm.
it's continuous for 30 seconds or more, your mind thinks it's actually happening and it starts to rewrite your neural pathways to say, this is who I am and this is what I experience. And when
Awesome.
that happens, eventually it becomes real. That's manifestation 101. So the problem is most people can hold a thought for 7 seconds or less, which is about the same as a goldfish. Okay.
Stop thinking like a goldfish. Yep.
Yep. And so the gift I have are audios that you can listen to that train your brain to think for 30 seconds or more. And they're called Stop Thinking Like a Goldfish audios.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
And I challenge everybody out there, if you don't get this gift and change your life for the better, I don't know what else to tell you. So this brings us to the end of our show. So until we meet again, remember, life does not come with a remote control. You have to get up and change it yourself. And if you don't get up and change it today, I don't know what else to do for you. I'm telling you. So until I see you again, be safe and know that you are loved. Thank you so much, Shiraz, for being here.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.